Okay, I think this can do. Wait, let me grab my iPad. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Cecilia, and today I just wanted to do kind of different type of video, more chatty, a little chat on, my first year of med school, which has been short because I enrolled a semester late. Now, you might wonder, how do you enroll a semester late? Which is a great question. So first of all, I'm from Italy, and here it's pretty common, like it was, because this year they changed the acceptance system. It's different now. Until last year, you had a test, and based off of the score you had in that test, there was a ranking, and if you were in, good, otherwise you had to wait for cutoffs. In September my score wasn't enough. I just had to wait because it was 1.5 points, which is what a question is worth, which is very had I answered just one more question, I would have studied normally, but I had to wait for cutoffs to go on and on and on, and I got in at the end of February. Fall semester of last year, I was enrolled in sports science. You might wonder why sports science is if you wanted to be a doctor, and the answer is pretty simple. The university I was in, they had less exams, the same type, so you had biology, psychology, biochemistry, and anatomy. Those were the exams of the first year, and since they were fewer, they were worth more credits than the ones in medicine. So if you were to transfer from another course like I did, and you wanted your previous exams recognized, those exams had to have the same code, and they needed to have the same amount or more credits. And since they had more, I was able to, I took 2 exams, biology and psychology, and I passed those exams with great grades, and they were actually recognized when I got into medicine. So what I was left to take during the summer, because in Italy, the second semester, like you have class from March to June about, and then exam season is June and July. The month of September is also for exams. For the fall semester, lectures are from October to December, and then you have exam season January and February, and then it goes on. So I had to take during the summer, so June and July and September, 5 exams. 4 I took June and July, and 1 I left to study in August, and I took in September. For 2 of these exams, I was going to class for. The other 3 were from the first semester, so I had to learn everything by myself. Those exams were Anatomy 1, which I had never studied in my life, Physics, which I did study. I have a long story, like it's a love and hate relationship with physics, and at the end, I don't know, I got I think a 22 out of 30, which is about, I don't know, let me get a rough percentage so that you know how much I scored. My grades aren't good, but my goal was just to pass to the second year, which I did. If you want to see me study for those during my first year of med school, I have a playlist. It's called Med School Season 1. It's somewhere here. Anyways, so I got a 22 out of 30, which is 73%. Not good, but I passed, and that was the goal. So that was physics. And then I had histology and embryology, which was another subject I had never studied. The other 2 exams of the second semester, which I followed class for, were Anatomy 2 and Medical Chemistry. So in order to take Anatomy 2, I had to take Anatomy 1. So the one I took in September was Anatomy 2. That was my situation. I was very prepared, like I had a very detailed scheme of what to do and what to get done every week, and to-do list, everything, daily routine, all packed, etc. And by that plan, I was supposed to study like 10 to 12 hours a day, like counting class as studying, because I'm not there like playing on my phone. Long story short, I didn't end up following that plan because it was too extreme. That plan was like study each subject every day. And then I had, you know, a to-do list. Like I took the syllabus and said, okay, week 1 is this, week 2 is this, you know. That was really unrealistic, especially because I didn't know how to study, especially anatomy. I thought about doing a video on how to self-study anatomy, but because it's really difficult and I haven't found videos online. So I thought, you know, maybe I could do it. Let me know if you guys would be interesting. Anyways, I didn't know what to do. It was a completely new subject. I didn't know what approach to take, and it took me quite a lot of time to master it. But once I got in the rhythm, I was able to go with the flow, and actually I did pass both anatomy exams. The second one with actually a pretty good grade, so I'm happy. Pretty good considering everybody's average, not my own standard. I have really high standards for myself. Anyways, so the plan I'd made out the window, the expectations I had for myself were too high. So what I started doing was, since I had, you know, 4 exams to take June and July, one was medical physics and the other one was medical chemistry. So both had, you know, you had to use the calculator for both. So I said, okay, let's place those 2 on different days. And I think I did anatomy 1 with chemistry and histology with physics, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I paired them and every day I would repeat. So I'll say on Monday, chemistry and anatomy, and on Tuesday, physics and histology. And then I would repeat every day like this. And yeah, I just kept going. I think I still studied a lot every day. I think it was 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours. I still kept, you know, working out, eating healthy, and I made it out. It was a lot of stress. And last week I filmed a video that was about, you know, getting ready for a new semester, but I was like, no, wait, hold on. We need a break. Today's Tuesday, the day I'm filming. I'm going to take this week and next week as complete breaks from studying. And then the week after that, the last week of September, there's like 2 days, I think. And then October 1st is on Wednesday. And that's the day I start uni again. Those 2 days, I'm going to be like, okay, let's see, you know, let's revise something. Let's see what we're doing, where we're at, etc. But before, no, I'm just going to rest. So far, what I've been doing is crosswords and coloring books, hikes and reading, a little bit of rest, well-deserved rest. My daily routine was like this: wake up at 6, which then became 6:30 because I needed more sleep. Then I would start studying at around 7, which was a revision. Then I had class from 9 to 1 p.m. Class was always the same courses, which were 2. I would go to class, then come back, and at about 2:30 to 3 p.m. I would start studying this 2 subject I had set myself to do. And then at first it was 5, then it became 6, then 7, because the days got hotter and hotter. I would go outside and run, then work out, do some Pilates, and then I would have dinner and then take a shower and go to sleep. And that was my day. What I did was a shortening of my regular study method. I scored over 90% with this method. Which is great. So I think I'm going to try it again this year. But for the previous semester, I didn't have that much time. And so what I did was, from the textbook or notes or whatever I had, I would make directly Anki cards. And then I would just study with Anki. Why? Because it was a very efficient way to study. You know, you used both active recall and spaced repetition. The only thing, which is the problem if you only study with flashcards, is that you do not connect the dots. You have simple questions, you know. You either create flashcards that connect different topics. So, for example, what's the relation between topic A and topic B, or how does topic D relate to topic B? And that's a way to circumnavigate the problem of flashcards not helping you connect the different topics. I had a memorizing period, which was about until 2 weeks before the exam. 2 weeks to 10 days, yeah. I would just do mock tests from previous tests. If I had questions or things I didn't understand or had a hard time connecting, I would just ask a AI platform, either ChatGPT or Gemini. It depended on the update. Like right now, ChatGPT sucks, so I'm using more Gemini, and there was a period when Gemini sucked and I was using more ChatGPT. I don't have preferences. I just go with the free version that works best at the moment, so. My learning phase was very, very limited this semester because I didn't have the time. I went straight into memorizing. Learning and connecting the dots was something I would do as I was memorizing, which is good if you have a limited time. But if you have more time, like I'm going to have next year, I prefer taking notes. Like my study method, the one I love, is taking handwritten notes during class. And then when I'm back home, open a notes file and then you type out what you remember and then you check, sort of blurting. And then if you have any questions, any doubts, you just Google them or you ask AI about them and you just write them in that file. And so you kind of have a textbook for yourself. Ever since I was a kid, like in elementary school, I had this thing about writing my own textbook. And this way, for every exam, I do it. And then from that, I highlight, keywords and I put them on Anki. And then if I have pictures or stuff like that, it goes on Anki and I just revise with a piece of paper. And it's the best study method for me. And it gets me so excited about studying. And I think that's the only thing that matters in terms of study methods. If your method gets you excited, even if it's not the most efficient, like writing notes on paper and then rewriting them on the computer, but it's not entirely rewriting them, and also you can have, underneath the title you can write a little paragraph about how this chapter connects to the previous ones. It's just so exciting. Also, mind maps I use just for seeing how the different topics within chapters connect to each other. So it's not really a mind map, it's just a map. For my biology exam, I did this. I wrote, structure of a cell, nucleus, and within the nucleus, it connected with cell replication, while mitochondria, for example, also connected to cell structure, connected to production of energy, and stuff like that. So I'm really, really happy with the way I studied, and I think I'm going to apply it again this year. But for the memorizing part is going to be the same as the past semester, so my first semester at med school. I'll shut up now and I'll leave you alone. Hope you have a great day and a great school year. If you already started, I hope you had a great start. If you didn't, it can always get better, guys. Okay, anyways, see you soon. Bye bye.